YouTube, how's it going? The GOAT House is back, and I got wide receiver rankings for you guys today. 32 receivers. Doesn't matter on the team. Just pick the 32 best, in my opinion, here. And it's predicting the upcoming season, just like the quarterback and running back ranking videos. If you haven't seen those, go check them out. But this one, let me tell you what happened with this one. So I made my rankings, decided on my rankings, which took me a while, then made all the graphics for the rankings, excluding Tyreek Hill. I didn't really want to include him if I thought he was going to get suspended. Didn't want to get any hate on the channel for including him, but then just after I finished all the graphics, comes out that he will not be suspended. So I had to go back and redo all the graphics. A lot of fun. But now I get to record it. I do enjoy this part, actually. But subscriber goal is at 40K by the end of this year, so please help us there. We work real hard here at the GOAT House. We'll have full coverage in season for the NFL. Can't wait. Daily sports videos here. Please click that like button. Check out our Twitter, as you can see the top right, link in the description for that as well. Let's get on these rankings. Again, kind of predicting the year with these. A lot of good receivers. Tough only including 32, but I was doing 32 for the other position groups as well, and we'll keep doing more position groups. So we'll start at the bottom here. 32, I got Golden Tate. Kind of has quieted down over the last few years. I think he could be the guy for the Giants. And I actually had Sterling Shepard here when I didn't have Tyreek Hill. So he actually got bumped out. So the two Giants receivers, it's a toss-up which one will be better. But Golden Tate could be that guy. He's pretty clutch still. He just still doesn't, have the most production like he used to. And I did not include rookies in this. People getting upset with me including rookies. And since it didn't matter on the team, I just picked the 32 best. I left out some rookies, but I think a couple rookies will finish in the top 32. But we'll keep it simple here. 31, Deshaun Jackson. Pretty similar to Golden Tate. Hasn't had the most production, maybe a little more. I think he can work out well with the Eagles, but then they have quite a few receivers now that he can split with. So, still super athletic, still going to definitely make an impact. But nothing crazy. Robbie Anderson. I like Robbie Anderson. He needs to stay healthy. I think it's Darnold's favorite target. I think he's easily the best receiver on the Jets. Very fast, too. Down the sideline tracking the ball. I like his game, so he'll improve this year if he stays healthy. He'll be at 30. And again, all these receivers are really good. Just because they're at the bottom at the start of this video doesn't mean I don't think they're good. There's probably like 80 receivers in the league that I think are real good. So maybe not that much, but all these guys are good. Corey Davis at 29. Slow start to his career, but he seems to be getting better and better. Last year was really good, so he could really break out this year. I get him at 29, but the Titans finally have other receivers with him. So is that going to, I've seen it both ways. Does that make him better because everyone's not focused on him? Or does that kind of take away from his production because those guys are getting targets too, guys like Humphreys and A.J. Brown, the rookie. So we'll see. But he looks like he's getting better. And then the 25 through 28 range here. 28, I got Larry Fitzgerald, who it's tough to have Larry Legend down here, and he still can ball. But they're changing the offense first, which not that he can't play in it, but they have a lot of receivers now. They drafted a whole bunch. They got a lot of young guys. So there's going to be a lot of splitting going on. Maybe he's not quite what he once was. So he's down at 28. Marquise Lee, 27. I think he's pretty underrated. He missed last year, unfortunately, with an injury. I think he's a pretty darn good receiver. I see him do well against top corners in this league when he was healthy. And then now he has Nick Foles at quarterback. So I think he will have a better year than people think, really. I got him at 27. And then 26, Marvin Jones, who I think is very capable of playing much better than number 26 receiver. I like the idea of him. A couple years ago, he looked really dominant at times. It's just, I think another Lions receiver kind of takes over more of the duties, kind of like what was happened last year. And then Jones needs to stay healthy as well. And the fact that there's 25 really, really good receivers ahead of him still, I think he's really good. It just shows some of these slides here in the 20s just show how good the receiver group in the NFL is. Emmanuel Sanders, 25. Needs to stay more consistent. Was really good last year. We'll see if we can keep that up. But he's at 25. Another receiver that can really do it all, play in the slot, play outside. He's at 25 for me. And then we're on to the 24 to 21. 24 is going to be ALSHON Jeffrey. A receiver that's not going to get any better. Obviously, he'll either stay the same or kind of a little less production. That the Eagles are bringing in some other receivers. He's a good possession guy, good downfield receiver. Usually he's a sure-handed receiver. Unfortunately, what happened in the playoffs there. maybe that makes him actually play better because he wants redemption here. But he's at 24. Tyler Lockett, who, I mean, this slide right here, 21 through 24, I mean, these are really good receivers. It just shows how good the receivers are because these guys are good. Tyler Lockett's really coming along. He keeps improving every year. Another one of those guys, a speedy guy. But for his size, it's kind of surprising how good he is down the sideline, contested catches, good at tracking the ball. Robert Woods had a really good year last year. You could argue was the better Rams receiver last year. I don't think he has as good of a year. Maybe not really having to do with him, but I think maybe another Rams receiver plays much better this year. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but I think Woods is kind of down here. You know, it just shows how good some of the receivers are coming up. Julian Edelman, 21, doesn't do a whole bunch during the regular season. No more Gronk, so maybe that means more targets for Edelman, but they also got N'Keal Harry, who I really like. I probably would have put on here if I decided to do rookies. But Edelman comes at 21. He's kind of just a clutch guy, playoff guy, Super Bowl guy. So he's at 21. Down to 17 through 20. 20, I got Allen Robinson of the Bears. You know, people think of him as kind of just a possession receiver, but I think he's more than that. You know, real good release at the line, real good with his routes, real smart, and catch the ball in traffic as well. I like his game down the sideline. Really stood out at the end of that playoff game when the offense started to really get going against the Eagles. 19's Jarvis Landry. Maybe production goes down a little bit with Odell Beckham Jr. in there, but still a very good receiver. Knows how to get open. You know, he's not really super flashy, maybe here and there, but he just kind of gets open, catches the ball, makes one guy miss maybe. So I like him around 19. Kenny Golladay at 18. This guy's going to keep getting better and better. Really, 17 and 18, I think, are pretty much the same here. Tyler Boyd and Kenny Golladay, I think, are guys that could be the future here. I think this video will make it again next year at this time. I think we can be talking about these guys in the top 10. I really like these two guys' game. They're both young. Boyd, surprisingly, is actually only at 24. So I really like these two guys. You know, like I said, they can move in the top 10 in the near future. But at the same time, it's hard. You know, the 16 guys ahead of them, I don't know if they're going anywhere. So that's why it's really tough. Those guys up there are really good. But Golladay, I liked a lot. As soon as I put on his film in that draft a couple years ago, I really like Golladay, and I thought everyone was sleeping on him. The Lions weren't sleeping on him. They kind of took him where I thought he should go. No one else really. And Tyler Boyd, a funny story too. I'm always watching college football, getting ready for the draft, even before guys are in the draft. And Tyler, I think I told this story before, but Tyler Boyd, freshman year at Pittsburgh, you know, I was in love with this guy's game. I'm already saying this is a future top pick. This is maybe the next elite receiver. And then as he kept going, sophomore, junior year, he kind of, he didn't play to the hype. He didn't improve. He didn't really, his best year was his freshman year, so he stuck around for a little bit there at Pitt. And then, the stock kind of went down a little bit, and we actually seen him grow a little bit when he comes into the league. And now we're starting to see what we saw freshman year. Last year was a ridiculous year for Tyler Boyd, and the fact that we knew, or I knew he had it in him, and I know other people that watch Pittsburgh football or Bengals football knew he had it in him, and now it's starting to come out. So is that going to keep coming out? And that's the scary part for Tyler Boyd. So definitely a guy to look out for. I'm excited for sure. Amari Cooper at 16. He wasn't at 16 when he was on the Raiders, even when he first came in the league, or even the last time he played for the Raiders. He wasn't quite up here. He was good, but honestly a little disappointing. He would have his flashes, but as a top pick in the draft, maybe a little disappointing, but he was good. So then he goes to the Cowboys, and he absolutely tears it up. I don't want to say small sample. Well, it's a pretty small sample size, I guess. So I kind of want to see more. We see what he can do. I got him at 16 for now here. And Brandon Cooks is the other Rams receiver. I think he had a good year last year, but it was a little bit off year because I think we expected more. We didn't really expect Woods to be the top guy. I think this year Cooks steps up, and we see the Brandon Cooks we kind of expect, which is a darn good, electrifying receiver. So I expect him to be easily the best Rams receiver this year, kind of just a prediction, not that bold. So I'm going to have him at 15. Keenan Allen at 14. If healthy, a consistent receiver. He's going to get you good production each week. He's not going to have crazy production throughout the year, though. He's at 14. It's just a very solid receiver. Catches the ball. I don't think he's the most flashy guy, but that's how I explain him. So he's at 14. Juju Smith-Schuster at 13. We've seen him, another guy, earlier years at USC, really, really impressive. This guy's going to be a first-round lock. And then maybe the last year not as good, didn't live up to all that hype, so falls down the boards a little bit, stock down a little bit. Still a very good prospect. The Steelers get him, and it's surprising what we have in Juju Smith-Schuster. But if you go back and see, he showed it to us. Kind of like I talk about Tyler Boyd. He showed it to us, so it's not super surprising he's here. He's going to get more action now, but like I said earlier, is that a good thing or a bad thing because Antonio Brown's gone? Because now they're going to be focused on a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, so can he be shut down more, or is it because he's the main guy? I know they have James Washington, I like him, but because he's the guy, is he going to get more production? So he's on his way into the top 10 as well, but again, the 12 guys ahead of him, it's hard to jump these guys because they're so darn good. The receivers, it's a passing league now, so it's not crazy surprising we're seeing all these receivers that are that good here. So now we're going to start with 12, go down to 9. I got T.Y. Hilton at 12. Another receiver I think is underrated, but at the same time, some of these receivers ahead of him, it's hard to put him ahead of them. But and now he's got some help. I think targets will go to with guys like Paris Campbell, Devin Funchess, but it could help Hilton because everyone was kind of expecting the Colts to go to Hilton. He's still able to do what he did, every week. Guy that can play in the slot, play outside. That's impressive to me. 11 is Adam Thielen. Ridiculous start to the year. Absolutely ridiculous last year. And then I think the team started putting their number one guy or even doubling up Thielen instead of Diggs. So Thielen's got a little quiet, but still a really, really good receiver, really good route runner. Very smart route runner, knows how to get open, so he comes in at number 11. Mike Evans at 10, and Mike Evans I'm kind of back and forth on. 1 week I'm watching, I'm just kind of just wow, just kind of floored on some of the catches he makes, wild throws by Winston, and the lack of jump ball guys. It's more of the guys that are shifty and can run routes. So it's nice to see another jump ball guy. But at the same time, it's like some of these other guys may have a little more to their game. And Mike Evans kind of a jump ball guy. He's going to catch the ball, but he's not the greatest route runner. He's not shifty. He's not going to get a whole bunch of separation, like we just talked about Adam Thielen, T.Y. Hilton. Maybe they have more to their game than Evans. Just Evans racks up the yards, pretty dominant at times, but I couldn't put him higher than 10 because he is lacking some parts of his game. But at the same time, with him lacking some of those, maybe the elite athleticism, he's athletic for his size, but the elite athleticism, pretty impressive that he's able to do what he does. Devontae Adams at 9, he just keeps on improving. He's always been a touchdown machine, but he's improving, pretty much everywhere on the field now, route running, footwork, release off the ball. So he's at 9. He can keep climbing as long as Rodgers is healthy. He's at 9, and then we're on to starting with 8 down to 5. I got Stefon Diggs at 8. I've said it before, I say it again. Even though the stats say Thielen's better, I still think Stefon Diggs is better. I think he has more to his game. They're pretty darn close, though, obviously you can see. Diggs being so young, too, and just improving, freak athletes. I just think he has a little more to his game, and I'm kind of predicting him to – I did predict it last year, him to have a little more production than Thielen, and he's not far off, but this year I'm predicting it again. I just see something in him, and I think he can keep climbing too because he's still a young receiver. A.J. Green's at 7. As long as he stays healthy, he can be an elite receiver and can be better than this. He does have Tyler Boyd taking some of the action from him, but it could help too having another guy like that with them, with him. So he's at 7. Michael Thomas at 6. I don't expect big time improving for this year. I think he stays somewhat the same, which is still ridiculous. So he's at 6. If he takes another step like he's been doing, it's gonna be insane. So he's at 6. Odell's at 5. Odell is super, super talented. Now he has Baker Mayfield along with other pieces like Jarvis Landry, and then pretty good receivers after that too. So, he just needs to stay on the field and keep his mind in the game. There's been times, I've said it a million times when he was on the Giants, I think he hurts the team more than he helps the team. That wasn't always, but it was at times. So I hope this is not the case here. He should be happy now. There shouldn't be any, distractions or excuses. I expect him to be this good. He really could be better than 5. It's just there's maybe a slight doubt, with just the way his attitude is, but I still have him at 5, so not too much doubt there at all. And then the top 4, I got Antonio Brown at 4. Not with the Steelers anymore. I think a better team, the Steelers, and we don't really know what he's like, outside the Steelers. He started off a little slow last year, still was absolutely dominant. I see him around this range here at 4, which is still really, really good. Then Tyreek Hill, 3. And I wasn't going to include him in this list, but I got him at 3. He just does so much. I think he has the best footwork at the line. He has the best speed out of any receiver. Dominant receiver. I guess Marquise Goodwin's the fastest in football, but who just missed this list as well. He needs to stay healthy, but he just missed this list. But Tyreek Hill, he's pretty dominant, pretty electrifying all over the field. I mean, you've seen Mahomes throw some wild, even though as good as he was, you've seen him throw some wild balls, and then you just think a smaller guy like Tyreek Hill, how does he come up with it? Because he's that good, and he's that dangerous. So I love his game. He keeps getting better and better. He's got to figure it out off the field. Hopefully none of that. Surprised he wasn't suspended. I thought he should have been. But I'm not really going to focus on that. To me, I'm not more mad at him at this point. I was, back when it came out. I'm more mad at the NFL because they're not really too consistent. It's not about because I needed Tyreek Hill suspended. I just think they're not consistent with who they suspend when and how long they suspend guys for. You got multiple guys in the league with the same, I guess, charge. They did the same thing wrong according to the NFL rules, but they all have different game suspensions. So that's kind of what I mean by all that, where I'm mad at the NFL. But he's at 3. And then Julio Jones is at 2. I think he's going to have another dominant. I think he's going to have a better year actually this year, which I think he led in receiving yards. So pretty crazy. I think, the better the receivers are getting around him, I think makes him better. I think that's, we talk about it could go either way. I think it's definitely going to make Julio Jones better this year, and he's already ridiculous, so he's at 2. But I do think DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in football, and he's getting better. He's actually getting better somehow. Well, he is young, but, doesn't drop the ball, makes insane catches. And just to think, Watson's a good quarterback, but for the little amount of time he has, sometimes he has to throw a wild ball, and Hopkins just comes up with it. And people just forget how quick and fast he is too. People just think of him just a crazy catch guy, a longer receiver. I mean, he can move. He's not as fast as obviously Tyreek Hill or anybody like that, but I mean, he can move. Total package receiver. So he's at number 1. Really no surprise there. So let me know what you guys' thoughts on this are. I did have quarterbacks and running back rankings on the channel already. Plenty more to come. Click that subscribe button, click that like button. We much appreciate it. We got daily sports videos. Again, we got full coverage of the NFL season once the season hits here. I can't wait. We got weekly picks with other Goat House guys. We got multiple pickers on that video. I do score predictions myself. I also do power rankings each week. I do recaps. I usually go on rants on the recaps. They're pretty fun. So we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please subscribe to the channel. It'll be worth it for you, and it'll help us get to our goal. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.